People with street smarts, what is your most street tip?
I got a couple, I'm gonna make it quick. 1, never sit with your back to the door. 2, never be nowhere you can't leave within 30 seconds or less. 3, if you ain't roll it, don't smoke it. To that, 4, if you ain't pour it, don't drink it. And if you're in the streets real heavy, never leave your house without your tool.
My mom used to always say, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. And this is one that I learned the hard way. When you go out late at night, you open yourself up to all types of danger. And if you live in a city with a high crime rate, this is extremely true. When people are asking you to link up in the middle of the night, a lot of times it's a setup. You open yourself up to getting robbed, more drunk drivers on the road because it's after bar hours, depending on where you live. There's other types of crime that's happening that can get you caught at the wrong place at the wrong time. One time I broke this tip. A friend and I linked up with some people in the middle of the night, and they slipped something into our drinks. By the grace of God, I realized what was happening before it was too late. I felt the effects kicking in, and I was like, we gotta get out of here. And by the time I got home, whatever they put in that drink got me.
Like I've said, I done lived in some rough neighborhoods, so I got some street tips for you. And most of the time, they're probably going to pertain to women, but you never know. Some of the guys might need them too. Y'all might find them useful, so let's get it. If you ever in a situation where you feel like you're being followed, pay attention to your shadow and any reflection that you can. If you got good peripheral vision, try to always make sure you watching side of your eye, and also make sure you listening to your own footsteps. And take your fucking earphones out your ear. If you ever feel like you being chased while you're driving, 3, 4 right turns. If somebody follows you literally around a block, go ahead, take them to the police station real quick since they want to follow you. If you ever have to be driving somewhere and you in stop traffic and you know 9 times out of 10 that light is going to be long, always make sure that you got at least 200-300 feet from the next car in front of you, just in case you got to speed off real quick. Anytime your instincts are telling you that something's wrong, you need to pack your shit and leave. If you ever in a party and you hear, mostly men, if you hear men start arguing, take your last drink, baby, and get in the car. If you ever see a group gathering and everybody like, hey, like they hyping somebody up dancing, get your last drink and hit the car. If you see more than one person that you know is probably in a gang or is a little bit unhinged and they most likely got a weapon on them, what I say, get your drink and hit the car. If you ever outside somewhere, like outside your house, and you see somebody circle more than once, get your ass in the house, or you need to leave that area because some shit probably about to go off. For my ladies especially, but probably my guys too, always go by the 45-second rule. That means that it needs to be 45 seconds from the time that you walk out of wherever you leaving to putting your keys, unlocking your car, putting your keys in your ignition, and driving off. Even in the wintertime, I know, but even in the wintertime. Always try to park backwards, like back into a parking spot, especially in places that you don't know or that you're going to be alone in. Just in case you got to peel out real quick on the motherfucker, you can peel the fuck out. If you're ever lost or you're not exactly sure where you at, do not pull out your phone in public, because what you doing, especially if you're in a place where you don't know where you at, you letting people know that you don't know where the fuck you at, and people will take advantage of you. I got more, but this video was long enough, so if y'all want me to make another one, let me know.
Here's one that I live by. Don't stick around to find out. When you get a gut feeling about a person or a situation, the worst thing you can do is wait to see if you're right. You don't always get a second chance to learn your lesson. And this goes for relationships, this goes for friendships, just out on the streets of life. If you wait to see what happens next, whatever happens to you might be what happens next. Here's a quick example. There's a woman that I'm friends with, and her ex Way early on in their relationship, she told me that like he had these sort of red flags. Me being a guy, I told her straight up, I was like, you gotta leave this dude. She didn't listen to me, she stuck around through these red flags. His behavior got worse and worse over time, and she finally left because it escalated to the point where he put his hands on her. And from the very beginning, she had this gut feeling about this dude. And so did I, but she stuck around.
Okay, number 1, only break one law at a time. So if you are high, go the speed limit or a little above or with the flow of traffic. That's a key thing. Also, if you're a woman and there's somebody like, following you, take out all your headphones, obviously, and then grab your phone, but like turn on the camera and make it obvious. Make it obvious and start talking. And then if he doesn't care, you stop and say, "Hello, 911." And if you're in a car, always drive to a police station if you notice somebody is following you. I know a lot of people say do the 4 right turns or whatever, but if you genuinely believe that somebody is following you, drive as fast as you can to the nearest police station. I think another thing is, if you are in a predicament, lie your ass off. Unless you know you're guilty of it and it'll be like a big crime, even if you it'll be worse if you lie. Just tell the truth. At that point, just tell the truth. Also, if you're smoking in your car and a police pulls up, walk home. Do not drive that car until the next 24 hours. What the fuck else? If you're in an Uber, always make sure you have your own address put into your own maps so you can see them, and also always pick a spot where you can see their phone so you can see their navigation. Also, along with the Uber or rideshare, always ask them who they are picking up, because if you say, "Are you picking up so-and-so?" they're going to be like, "Sure, whatever," even if they are not who they're picking up. And also keep in mind, always check the license plate, obviously, but that sometimes is not so obvious. Ooh, I would say another thing, if your bud smells like burnt plastic or tastes like popcorn, it is laced. Or you can assume such. Do not smoke it anymore. Also, if you're doing acid like tabs, if it's bitter, it's a spitter. Acid should not taste like anything, and if it does, it should not be bitter. And if it is, spit it the fuck out immediately.
If you ever find yourself in jail, do not wear socks. Now, if you got sneakers, they let you wear sneakers, that's good, wear your sneakers. But if you got flip-flops and you got your socks on with your flip-flops, if something happened, you can't really defend yourself with the flip-flops on. Then you come out them flip-flops and you sliding everywhere with your socks on. So do not wear socks.
As a single woman who has lived in multiple big cities in the downtown areas, it is very important that anyone you come across in passing on the street, walking your dog, anywhere like that, that you make eye contact with. It lets them know, I see you, but I see you, and I can identify you if I ever need to.
This is one that I learned from my mom. And most of my followers are women, so I'll share this. You never know who it could help. The question, "Do you have a man at home?" is a threat to a woman's safety. Men perceive the other men in your life as your protectors. In other words, if I mess with you, I have to fight your brothers. I have to fight your dad, or I'll have to fight your boyfriend. So the question, "Do you have a man at home?" is essentially asking you, what is your protection like at home? Keep in mind, he did not ask, "Do you have a boyfriend? Are you taken?" He asked, "Do you have a man at home?" It's one of those things that shows why language is so important. And you can tell a lot about a person by the words that they use.
If you hear gunshots going off anywhere in your vicinity, immediately duck and lay on the ground. Because if you run, the shooters are going to probably think that you're also an op and going to try to off you off too.